Hey guys, this is D Tacos, and this is the Daily Taco. Not daily, sorry about that, where we talk top politics, as well as say sports. Losing it. We have a really special one today. My state senator, your state senator, if you live in the district number 22 in Brooklyn, Andrew Gounardes, talks about a lot of stuff: nursing home, Cuomo, sexual harassment, some national stuff. It's a pretty cool conversation. Check out Andrew. He's a good egg. He's doing what he can for his district, and yeah, so that's fun. Also, check out the other stuff we do. Fat Guy Sports Time, our Tammy's Bread Basket. If you guys are sports fans or NHL fans, and if you're a fan of politics and news and what we do here, like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any of the other audio platforms, give it a rate, give it a review there. 5 stars, please. If you're gonna shit on me, just I guess shit on me too, whatever. And the best possible thing you could do, if you care about yourself and you care about me and you care about your country, is share it. Share it with your friends. Do what you can. Spread the love. I very much appreciate it. And without further ado, Senator Andrew Gounardes. And that was it, but we're good now, so it's good. What's going on with
Good.
you? How's the kiddo?
He's great. He's 2 months old.
Wow.
Vageli, you want to come say hello a second? Yeah, let him say hello. He's turned 2 months on Saturday. Hey, Vageli, you gonna say hello? Huh?
What a
Want to say hello,
cute.
Vageli? Huh?
That's
You
awesome.
say hello?
He's getting a lot of time on Zoom. Hey, Vageli, what's
Yeah, a
up,
lot
dude?
of time. I'm taking him to all like my senior center visits, all my digital
Yeah.
senior center visits. He comes on to my staff meetings, some of my committee meetings. He's excellent. He's perfect.
What a cutie. Good, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. All right, take him. All right, there we go. Hey,
So
Vageli.
that's so
He
fun.
gained like 4 pounds in 2 months, which is crazy.
That's a lot, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he
That's
eats a
awesome.
lot.
How's mom? Everyone's good?
Everyone's good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Slow news month, huh?
It's been so boring.
Yeah.
I don't know like I don't know what to do with myself. It's really been just, slow, nothing happening.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the nursing home thing to me is like, the sexual harassment's bad too, obviously, especially in the office. Like that's you would think,
Yeah.
especially. It's never good. Like even back in the '60s, it wasn't good. You know what I mean? Like you see, like we watch like Mad Men and stuff, and you see what went on, and it's cringy. Like it's like, ugh.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, granted, listen, people get together in the office and like in the workplace, like people meet and get married and stuff. But you gotta play it like kind of subtle. You know what I mean? Like you gotta tread lightly, I guess.
Yeah. There's a way, you gotta be tactful, and you can't like cross boundaries either. And
Dude,
people who get together in the workplace, that I highly doubt that any of them start with like really inappropriate questions or like forced touching
yeah,
or unwanted kissing. It's not like, oh my god, my boss kissed me. I'm all of a sudden I fell in love with him. Like it doesn't happen that way.
right, yeah, yeah. And like, listen, your boss like tries to make a move or makes drops a line. Like that's a real power dynamic there, bro. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean? Like,
all about power. This is not about like finding your life partner. This is not about sex. This is about power.
yeah,
All of this is about power. This behavior is not new. It's the same playbook over and over again, and it's all about showing someone that you have power over them.
I know. It's just, I don't know. It's so cringy, dude. Like, cause listen, I'm a guy and stuff. Like, I'm a straight white male. I'm the enemy, but like, I'm not gonna act like an asshole. Like, I would never like that. Even when I was a boss of a, play. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna do that ever. Even if I'm interested in somebody, like, I'm not gonna. To me, it's so, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Like, it's so fucking cringy. It's so gross.
100%. It's exactly right. Like there's a right way and wrong way of doing things, and this is without a doubt every single time the wrong way of doing it.
Are you calling for him to resign?
So I've said that he does not belong in office. I have not gone so far as to say he should actually resign, because part of me is like, he's not going to do it anyway. I already said that he doesn't belong in office. Like, he doesn't deserve to be in office. So like, what difference does it make if I say resign or just like you don't belong there?
Yeah, I mean, listen, like it's getting louder and louder. Like the people who are saying for him to resign, like the majority leader, like that's a big,
Yeah, that was
that's
big.
big. Like
That
you
was
got
big.
Vageli and stuff, which she's kind of a fire thrower anyway. She's good. Like she's pretty sharp. Like I've seen her on interviews and stuff like that. She's pretty sharp, but she's definitely a fire thrower. So that's one, like, no, I don't even want to call her fringe either, because she's not fringe either, but like
No,
she's definitely more outspoken. The majority leader is like another level.
that was a very, very big deal.
What do you think he does? He's
everything
not
she said in that statement, I think, was right.
Yeah. Listen, you can't do it. You just can't do it. Like, and honestly, by now, you need to know better, I think.
The behavior that we're talking about happened last year. This is not like 20 years ago, though there are allegations about that too. But like last year, during the pandemic, he was talking to Charlotte Bennett. Like that is in no universe, even when you are friendly with your staff, is it appropriate for you to ask your 25-year-old staff member who's female whether she is comfortable sleeping with older men? There is
That's crazy.
No universe in which that is normal or possible or acceptable or rational.
Yeah.
None.
I'm with you 100%, man. Like, it's like we said before, if it's one thing you're interested in somebody and like you're treading lightly and stuff, you're going through the right way. Yeah, this is crazy. Like, this is just like, bro, first off, I thought you're like Mr. Busy Guy. For me, the bloom started coming off the rose once I heard about his book deal. Like in fucking June of last year. Like, dude, can we wait until there is no more coronavirus for you to take a victory lap?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sign the deal, get your advance. Fine. Write the book like maybe a year from now when there's like 90% vaccinated, and like coronavirus is like 2-3 a day, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From that
not at the height, not when like we're still going through hell.
Yeah. He literally came out during the winter when it was like another like mini spike. It wasn't as crazy as March and April, but still, like, we knew it was going to happen. We knew it was going to be a tough sledding, closing restaurants, doing the whole deal. So to me, once he did that, he burnt a lot of political capital. I think the crazy thing right now, like the world we live in, I guarantee you, like they're polling and shit like that. They probably see like he probably lost a big chunk of support, but I guarantee you he's probably not like under 50%.
Not yet.
I mean, listen, if there's another accuser that comes out where it's a lot more like, because I don't want to downplay the other people. Like, I don't want to downplay that because sexual harassment's fucked up no matter what. But, like, so if something crazy comes out, then yeah, I could see him really like maybe resigning, but I can't see him resigning. He'll definitely get primaried. You gonna primary?
He's not gonna resign. What was that?
Are you gonna primary him or what?
I'm not gonna.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, rumors. That's how rumors start, right? Rumors go from podcasts to New York Times stories in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, like so it's just crazy to me. And the nursing home stuff. The interesting thing about that is the nursing home stuff. We heard this shit back last year, grumblings, but it was grumblings from people on the right. And I'm not hardcore Democrat. I'm not hardcore. I'm definitely not hardcore Republican. I understand both sides. Not really the Republicans anymore. They've gone way around the bend, and they've gotten lost completely. The shit with the nursing home, it started what? They made a mistake, basically sending people instead of like to the Javits Center or to the boat, they sent them back to nursing homes, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's a fluid situation. It's an actual crazy, unprecedented emergency. I get it. You're gonna make mistakes. The flubbing of the numbers and like kind of stalling the Justice Department and stalling even you guys, like legislators who are like looking into what's the deal. Like, why did you guys do the numbers this way?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that's so negligent. It's crazy.
That's exactly it. It's not about the decision. I mean, the decision you can criticize, like I'm not here to criticize the decision. It's about flubbing the numbers intentionally. It's about withholding information from the public. It's about lying about why you withheld information from the public. and like doing it repeatedly. That's
Right.
the problem here. That's the big problem. It's crazy. I back in April, when we were first hearing about nursing homes, I proposed the first bill. Myself and Ron Kim, we know he's been in the news because Cuomo threatened him. We wrote the first bill on trying to fix the mess in the nursing homes. We introduced it on April 30th last year.
Wow. Okay.
But
Yeah.
you were on top of this for a while and trying to get information and trying to push something, and we were getting stonewalled every turn, every step of the way.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, dude, read the fucking tea leaves a little bit for him. Like, you're doing so well in terms of like, you're compared to Trump. So Trump's an absolute nightmare, straight up, right? So as long as you have a pulse, you're going to show up as more of a leader than Trump is. So yeah, all right, you fucked up. It's fine. Everyone fucks up. Like, if you admitted it, I guarantee you, like, people like when people admit that they're wrong and they take responsibility and they're like, yo, it's on me, my bad.
Yeah, right.
They're going to grind it out and make it happen and try to do what I can for the state. Let me ask you this. The assemblyman that got chewed out by him, have you ever gotten a phone call from him or his crew? And like,
nope.
Never?
No.
You could tell me, bro. It's not a big deal.
Never. Surprising. Never.
Really?
Not a single phone call.
I mean, his bullying has been pretty, people have known about it, right, for a very long time. And I get it. It's politics. It's deal making. Sometimes you need to use that type of way of doing things to get shit done, more or less. But the bullying thing, like, he's been doing that forever.
There's a way to knock heads, and there's a way to be, a real jerk. And like, there's a big difference between them.
Yeah.
I think, you can run, you can like drive a hard bargain without threatening to destroy somebody.
So I'm with you. Yeah. The destroying thing is like, it's like out of a fucking movie. It's like not even, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, this guy's an assemblyman. Relax, guy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So that's interesting. You've never gotten a call from him. I would assume, like, because, you pop off. I remember the thing with was it the nursing homes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Your first initial thing where, like, this guy, we need to investigate. Like, listen, a state senator comes out and writes something about a governor. Like, it's big. Especially same party.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then Tucker Carlson, that rats producers hit you up. That was the best. Yeah, like, they're such rats. Sorry, man. I don't like them.
You saw what I wrote about them. Like,
yeah.
These are the same guys that were saying that the Capitol Hill protests were started by Black Lives Matter. Like, what?
Yeah, and Antifa.
Literally said that week. Like, are you kidding me? And you want me to go on my show because you want to take hits at Cuomo? Like, I'm not playing that game. Like,
right.
And all these Republicans all these elected officials who are gleefully, like, trying to bury Cuomo. Where the hell were you guys about Trump?
Yeah, no, that's not.
Don't give me that. That's bullshit. Like, that is just like not acceptable, not okay. It's hypocritical. Our own Congresswoman here did the same thing. Wouldn't say a word about Trump, and here she is, like, digging Cuomo's grave for him. Like, give me a break.
Yeah. Malliotakis, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she's. Dude. She's. People like the Republic. I try to find a space to where it's like, yeah, they're like, give them like a little shred of like benefit of the doubt. Republican politicians mostly, because I think people who are Republicans, they're misguided and they're obviously fed disinformation constantly. And sure, is it their own? Is it partly to blame for them for like not having the blinders on? Sure, but this Malliotakis stinks, man. For the lack of a, she's just the fucking worst. She backed. She voted to not certify the election.
Yeah,
that she won in.
Yeah,
like how brain dead is that? I know you got to cater to the base, but there's got to be to a point. You know what I mean? Like where it becomes like you're undermining democracy. So maybe we should pull the reins back.
Yeah, exactly. Or like stand up. Like I had no problem standing up against Cuomo at the nursing home stuff and say, look, guy from my own party, I'm not okay with this. Like this is a problem. I feel like I've been betrayed.
Right.
You gotta like know when to stand up and say enough's enough. Like I'm calling the balls and strikes as I see them. That's what you got to do.
Listen, with the Cuomo stuff, The nursing homes for sure, like the negligence there is bad. It's like a really like, it's not. And I know like the sexual harassment's the one that's gonna get the big headlines and stuff. But the nursing home shit is like straight, and like the covering up is what's the fucked up part.
Bad,
You know?
bad.
So like what happens from here? Because everyone keeps like Stinger came out, but Stinger's down in the polls, so he's got to do something. He came out to like say for him to resign. Your man Eric Adams, Yang Gang's here.
Yang Gang is here. Yeah, I think a lot of it's still got to be about name recognition. And we still have 4 months to go, and you really haven't seen the campaign heat up yet. 3 months to go. Have not seen it like really heat up yet because it's all just been like Zoom calls and like Zoom debates. You're going to see it take a turn pretty soon.
Well, especially like, you know, I don't know if they're going to do like an in-person debate. Probably not.
I don't know. Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, listen, he's up 13 points. Like that new poll.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric's number 2, which is good. I mean, that's a good showing.
Yep.
You've got to be raising good money. I feel like he's a former cop. He's African-American. Like, if there's some, and he's like a real deal, like New Yorker, like you could tell, like this guy's from New York.
He gets it.
He could be like the guy who like brings shit together if he plays it right. You know what I mean? Like the defund maniac, like, you know, the disband the police, whatever, you know, like the crazy left and the crazy right. You could find that middle ground where, you know, pragmatic shit progress can be made, right? Like what we want to, like, we don't want to just continue to fight. We're not going to disband the police. Not happening ever. Right.
Yeah.
Like, so, and we want cops to obviously stop fucking killing people that they don't need to kill.
Yeah. No, I think he is the right messenger and the right message for this time, without a doubt. And look, I think, 19%, Yang is only at 32. That number I think is soft. That number was going to come down, especially as folks take a deeper look at Yang and where he's at and what he's talking about. And once you start seeing these campaigns spend some real money, you're going to see the race shift dramatically. I think I think all the numbers we're seeing right now are all kind of soft. You're going to see a lot of restructuring in that race. I would say within a month and a half or so.
Who do you think?
I mean, de Blasio was like 4th in the polls 2 months out. And in the last 6 weeks, he just pulled it off.
We all know why he blew up. And whoever wrote that ad for him is probably a Democratic operative, like a superstar right now. He better be making millions of dollars a year as a consultant, because that ad, you know the ad I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Everyone.
Not that. Yeah.
I mean, bro, that's a fucking home run ad. I watched the ad, and I remember it came on. I'm like, all right, another political ad, whatever. And he says like, "Oh, I'm his son." Nobody knew that. You know what I mean? So that blew everyone's fucking mind, and that literally made him mayor.
Yeah.
I'd like to meet the guy who wrote that ad, or the girl who wrote it.
Yeah, it was John Delgado, actually, who wrote that ad.
That guy's a wizard. What is he doing? He's rich. He's got to be rich doing this stuff.
Yeah, he's a media consultant. I don't know who he's working for this cycle, but he's had his name in politics for a while.
Yeah, he's I mean, listen, that ad is unreal. Maybe I'll edit it in right now, like, so we can show people, but it was, I mean, unreal.
I want to tell you a little bit about Bill de Blasio. He's the only Democrat with the guts to really break from the Bloomberg years. The only one who will raise taxes on the rich to fund early childhood and after-school programs. He's got the boldest plan to build affordable housing, and he's the only one who will end a stop-and-frisk era that unfairly targets people of color. Bill de Blasio will be a mayor for every New Yorker, no matter where they live or what they look like. And I'd say that even if you were my dad.
So what else, dude? So you're gonna primary Cuomo, huh? Good for you.
Primary Cuomo. I might even look. Hell, I'm over 35. So look, Biden's a little sleepy. I might just go all the way. Go for the brass ring.
I mean, listen, dude. If you, listen.
Come from New York, really ride that wave and just
that would be
have an insurgent candidate, knock him out.
Yeah, that would be the ultimate coup. You know what I mean? Like you worked for him and helped him out in that campaign that 1 year, then you come back to primary him.
Yeah, why not? You're done. Move on. Next.
What do you think of Biaggi?
Well, I think she's a very, I work very closely with her. We actually sit next to each other in the chamber, so we've developed a good, good working relationship. Like you said, she's not a flamethrower, but she she knows how to pick her mark. She's sharp. She knows her game, and she's really good at what she does.
I asked her to come on. She said, yeah. But then, like, the shit popped off. And she was doing Instagram lives with Katie Couric.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, you're done now. You're at the bottom of the pile now.
Yeah, dude. I know. Once I saw that, I'm like, oh, my God. Instagram live with fucking Katie. All right. Well, I'll see you in a couple months when shit cools down.
Yeah,
It's
no,
so funny.
she's good. And, she used to work for the governor. So she's seen a
Right.
lot of this stuff firsthand, which is also nuts.
Yeah, listen, I know, I read that she did work for him. I mean, she never got sexually harassed, right? No.
She wrote something on Twitter once about like how someone said that she danced, like how she danced, but I don't know. She has not, I think, publicly disclosed if anything's ever happened to her.
I feel like she would have, if specifically with Cuomo, you know what I mean? Like, because she's does not mix what she's like, he should resign.
Yeah.
And listen, dude, like, the sixth woman came out today. I mean, they haven't named her or anything.
No, not yet.
I mean, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of women. Like, that's not a small amount. That's not one person or maybe.
It's not one person misunderstanding. That's a pattern.
Yeah. What do you think of Leticia James? She's gonna dig through this shit deep. I mean, the people that she picked are pretty sharp.
She's picked an excellent team. So I think that they're gonna, if there's stuff there to be found, these folks will find it. There's no doubt about that. No doubt.
Kim, he was Southern District, and like, these are no joke.
Top-notch.
Investigator, prosecutors, whatever. Do you think who's in a primary him, bro? Tell me. I want to know.
I mean, look, we'll see what happens, but if the attorney general plays it right, she would be a prime contender.
Yeah.
She's got a very strong following. She in many ways, she could be the one that takes him down with this investigation. Well,
So she's been already investigating the nursing homes?
She wrote a report on the nursing homes. It wasn't like a criminal investigation, but they did like their own kind of like preliminary investigation.
This investigation right now, where she picked the two people to investigate this is specifically for the sexual harassment.
Yeah.
So let's say they find that there's evidence of it.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next?
Well, really nothing. And then it's on us in the legislature to decide what we want to do. Now, if they find like really bad stuff, like there's like, physical harassment, potentially criminal, it'll get referred for criminal prosecution, like the Eric Schneiderman case. If not, it'll be upon the legislature to see if we want to force his hand and try to force him to resign or move towards impeachment.
Right. So it's all up to this investigation. I mean, listen, he's calling for the investigation like he's got nothing to hide. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I guess that's what you need to do. You need to like present confidence, and he's not gonna take a step back. It doesn't seem like that guy anyway.
I think he's trying to buy some time. I think in his mind, if he can buy some time, let the investigation drag out for 3, 4, 5 months, give people a time to like forget about this, let everyone get vaccinated. He starts reopening the state. Schools are open, people getting back to normal, then he can like work on rebuilding his relationships with folks and then try to hold on.
Did you you never got a phone call? Like, cause I remember a bunch of people were like putting out statements for him to resign and stuff like that. And like they said, he started like calling people up to like,
no phone call. Zero phone call. Yeah. Zero.
Have you had much interaction with him? I know COVID and stuff, but
not much. No, I mean, he signed a bunch of my bills. I've been at a bunch of events with him, but he endorsed me in 2018. He did some rallies with me, but I haven't really interacted with him much. I kind of, I've stayed out of his way. He stays out of my way. I also like don't go out of my way to, be in his way. Whereas some folks, their politics make them automatically in opposition to the governor. Like, that's not my politics. Like, I'm here to get shit done. So if I work with him, I work with him. If I don't work with him, I don't work with him. Right? It's like you just balance it out. So I've never had to like reflexively just be anti-Cuomo no matter what. I don't agree with everything he's done. I've criticized him, but like, that doesn't mean that I think from day one he should have rotted in hell.
Right. Yeah. I mean, listen, I get that too. You're not a Republican, right? You might be a little bit more progressive than him. That's not a bad thing. I feel like, actually a good thing.
But I'm also not like on the left that's like just throwing bombs at him either,
Right. Yeah, listen, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be doing it just to get fucking headlines, like that's disingenuous. And plus,
Right.
I mean, you would have taken that Tucker Carlson fucking almost any politician, left, right, center, is going on Tucker Carlson, even though like whatever, it's a bullshit show. I mean, he's got, millions of people that watch it. So everyone's going to go after that and try to get that clout and that, So I respect the fact that you didn't do that. I texted you too. I'm like, yo, good on you, because most people, everyone's shit.
It's not worth it. Like I don't need that. I got other things to worry about.
Sure, yeah. So what's gonna happen? I feel like we'll probably find out more.
There'll be more stories coming out for sure.
Does he resign?
I don't think he does.
What a psycho.
Maybe if like his impeachment is guaranteed, maybe he resigns, like pulls a Nixon and resigns to avoid impeachment.
Yeah, but that means he would need the investigation would need to reveal a lot.
Yeah.
Because I can't, or maybe like they investigate. They should definitely investigate the nursing homes too. I mean,
well, they are. So the Eastern District of New York, I believe, has now opened up an investigation into the altering of the data and the withholding of the data.
Okay, so. And it's criminal, which is that's so crazy. So like, what happens if what happens if he gets charged? Can he pardon himself? State charges?
No, that would be, state charges would only come from the state official. So if the Eastern District finds anything, it'll likely be a federal commission.
Got it.
Or they could refer it to local prosecutors for prosecution. So then that's a great question. I don't know if he could pardon himself if there was a state crime.
What do you make of the secretary of the governor, Melissa DeRosa?
Yeah, she's his right-hand man. She She runs the show.
She's extremely sharp. You could tell too, like when she's speaking.
Very sharp, yeah. Very sharp.
I mean, she's hitching the wagon to him, so she better hope there's nothing there.
Whatever she says, you can just assume it's coming right from the governor's mouth.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I mean, she gets a lot of leeway, like in the press conferences too.
Yeah.
So you got to understand. You got to assume that she is part, basically a partner in the whole thing.
Yeah, totally. And like, she comes from a family of like political operatives. Like her whole family's been in politics for years and years and years. So like she knows the game very well.
And I saw her on Twitter. She was going after Vageli early on. Like they were fucking chirping each other back.
Yep. They've been doing that for years.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, because I saw like she was saying like you might, she was like accusing her of being drunk and shit. I was like, oh my God, this is nuts. And they worked there. That's so wild to me. She worked for the governor. I mean, listen, Democrats like eating each other. Like they like going after each other. It's like a pastime. So
yeah, but it's that plus it's also like we're not sycophants. Like we see a problem in our ranks, we're gonna call it out. Whereas the Republicans have just not been willing to do that. Which maybe we're the stupid ones. Maybe we're doing it wrong. But I feel like you see something bad happen, regardless of who's doing it. It's like the decent thing to do is to say no.
Right. Yeah. That's definitely the moral way of going about it, I feel like, and the right way of going about it. That's the thing with Republicans. It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. And like, it's crazy to me, man, because listen, if you're a rich guy and you're a Republican because you don't want to pay taxes, I respect you more than like a person that's just like xenophobic or just a straight piece of shit, doesn't want any progression. Yeah. I just don't get it, man. I don't get like the ferocity in which they defend themselves for, like not just politicians, but like their constituents.
Yeah,
hardcore.
Totally.
I don't know, man. I've gotten so like grossed out by politics, man. Like I don't even know how you do it, to be honest. I know you got to kind of toe the company line, Democrat wise, because you need the organization, you need the fundraising and stuff. But it's like, do you ever, when you walked in there and you were there for a couple of years, you've been there a couple of years now, did you kind of like the idealism went away from you, or no? Not yet.
Not yet. Because I think it's still possible. Like there's still a lot of good that can happen. And like if you lose the idealism, then there's no point in doing it anymore.
Right, because then you just become a cynic, and
Yeah. And then you're just there for the paycheck or for the glory, for the power, and that's just not. So I'm a big West Wing fan. Like I've watched The West Wing over and over and over. I'm now starting it for the 19th time, which is
same here.
crazy.
I
Yeah,
love the West Wing.
and like I still look at that show and I still get excited at every episode at just like what it represents. Like I'm not tired of that.
Right.
And so I feel like it's the same thing with work. Like as long as I'm like looking forward to going to work every single day to do that, and I don't lose that spark, then I'm fine. Once I get tired of watching The West Wing, I'll know that I'm tired of doing my job.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, dude. Like, listen, I don't think it gets more of a perfect president than like a guy like the character of Jed Bartlett, and this is going inside West Wing, but guy's a genius, and he's, it's an awesome show. It's such a good show, especially network TV too, because network TV, most of it's trash anyway.
Yeah.
Like, so the fact they were able to make that and make it for 7 seasons, like, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, it's great. He was so like, I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, Martin Sheen's originally from Ohio, and there was an open Senate seat in Ohio. And I forget what year this was. And everyone's like, oh my God, Martin Sheen should run. Martin Sheen should run. Because everyone's like, we want Jed Bartlett. So he actually had to put a statement out saying, I'm flattered, but Jed Bartlett is just a character.
Yeah, I'm a like actor, guys. Yeah.
Like, I'm proud of my work in this character. I'm proud of like what he represented. But I'm not Jed Bartlett. I'm Martin Sheen. And it was just kind of funny how people became so engrossed with this idea of Jed Bartlett as being the perfect politician, the caring, smart, intelligent, just like, thoughtful leader. And I just always chuckle at that.
Yeah, I mean, West Wing is one of my favorite shows ever. Like, I love that. I've seen it like you. Like, I've seen it multiple times. And, dude, like, I watch it. I don't really think I've ever had political aspirations, but ever. Just because I know it's so dirty once you get into it. Like, I know it's like, once I see what really goes on and how the sausage is made, I would be like, all right, I'm done here. I'm out of here. It's a joke. I know you're not there yet. You'll get there. Don't worry. But it is inspiring. It's an inspiring show. You get the goosebumps and shit like that. You see that, like, even though they're characters and they're written, and Aaron Sorkin's a great writer, they're operating in good faith. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Even though you're gonna hit a wall with, like, real life and what goes on and who you need to get, approved from and all that bullshit you got to deal with. If you're going at something with good faith, it doesn't matter what party you're in, and you can, like, just, I don't know, just don't toe the company line all the time, like the way Republicans do, unfortunately.
Yeah, look, there's a time and a place for that, but that's not every time.
Right. Have I talked to you since the insurrection? No,
the last thing we did was like the weekend before.
That's right.
Because that's right before the baby was born.
Right. Yeah.
So like while that was happening, we were in the hospital because the baby was born at 3:49 that morning.
Oh wow.
So I had so we were in the hospital sleeping that day and just like, trying to figure out that we're now responsible for this life.
What the fuck do we do now? Yeah.
We had no idea what was happening in DC. It was crazy. Like, I had my chief of staff texted me at around 3 or 4 o'clock. She goes, "Are you watching what's happening?" I was like, "What?" I've been sleeping all day. I've been like changing diapers and figuring out like what's going on.
Oh my
I had
God.
No clue.
It was crazy. Oh my God, it's crazy to fucking get a text from your chief of staff like, "Hey, dude, put on the news real quick.
DC is burning to the ground. Like, are you watching this thing?" Nope, oblivious. Joyfully oblivious.
Do you think there was Republican members of Congress that helped insurrectionists? Like, the fringe crazy Lauren Burberts and Yeah. I mean, I don't know how people can like defend that they didn't do that,
Yeah,
like, I don't understand it.
I don't know if they went so far as like plot and plan, but they did more than encourage it.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that day was crazy, dude. I was watching. I was like, this is fucking insane. And the funny thing is, like, there was obviously some kind of sketchiness going on, too, with, like, not calling the National Guard in or, like, waiting a few hours before the National Guard was ordered to come in or whatever.
Yeah.
To me, and like they were treating it like the security situation like it's any other fucking day on the Capitol. Crazy to me. Crazy to me. How like it's also crazy to me like how Democrats weren't like, yo, what the fuck's up with the security? Like weeks leading up to it, right? Because this was a thing that was leading, like they posted about it for weeks before that there was
Weeks,
rally.
yeah.
So for it to get to that point where, if it was a BLM fucking rally, they're fucking tear gassing these motherfuckers.
Well, they did. Like, if you remember, there was like that picture that was circulating about how there was a BLM rally in Washington like that summer, and there were armed guards at the Lincoln Memorial, and like riot gear and body shields and stuff. Like,
granted, like the protests for BLM were happening everywhere, but it wasn't like they didn't know January 6th is going to be a massive rally.
Yep.
Listen, 500,000 people there, 95% just did the rally. And you should be able to scream, say whatever you want.
Right.
Don't fuck shit up. Like, don't break stuff. Because BLM or QAnon guys, if you break shit, you get violent, you're going to get arrested. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the end of the story.
Doesn't matter what you're protesting, right? You break the law, you break the law. That's it.
But if you want to be there and run your mouth, go ahead. Like, that's what we should be allowed to do. But you can't really send a fucking hit squad of QAnoners to try and murder Mike Pence.
Yeah.
It's literally what went down.
Yeah.
Like, if they found AOC, they would have clipped
it. They would have killed her. Yeah, absolutely. They were like a ravenous horde. They were out for blood.
And and the Republican politicians downplay this shit. It's
not in their interest. Yeah, exactly. It is disgusting how much they have downplayed that.
And like, dude, I don't want to just shit on Republicans, right? Because I don't want to do that, but it's just they've gone to the level now where you can't defend it.
Yeah.
So like when it's almost unbelievable, even though we saw it happen with our own eyes.
There are zero. The problem is that we live in a world where there are zero repercussions for that type of behavior. Zero political repercussions. Like, they were catering to their base, and the only thing they have to care about is their base. Again, as long as we are operating in a political system that depends solely on the flow of big money and like super PACs and stuff like that, and then like Fox News and Newsmax, there is every incentive, and not just Fox News, but like MSNBC. There is zero incentive for people to be rational, for people to compromise, for people to come to the middle, because all you're doing is looking over your left or your right shoulder to worry about a primary. It's all about catering to the base. There is zero. The reason why there's no more compromise is there's no more moderates.
Right.
Every moderate got picked off by a more extreme person, and like there's no one left.
I mean, how do we fix it? I don't understand how can we teach media literacy to people? Like, how do we do it?
Well, I think it's a bunch of stuff. So like number one, you have to ban Citizens United. You have to get rid of these super PACs and all this money, all this dark money, all these issue ads that say like, Congressman John Smith voted against, supports murdering babies.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like that's just, it's garbage. But the flow of money is the single most corrupting influence in this process. You got to ban Citizens United. You got to pass a constitutional amendment cleaning that up. Number one, first and foremost. There is a bill right now that is being debated in the House called HR 1 for the People Act, which would do a bunch of stuff. It would end political gerrymandering so that across the country, congressional districts would have to be drawn by an objective standard, not by partisan advantage, which happens time and time again.
I mean, that's all the Republicans fucking do, bro. Let's be real here.
Yeah, but this is what it's going to take. You got to you have to put in place these structural reforms. You got to ban the gerrymandering. You have to expand the opportunity for people to vote. You have to ban the corporate contributions and like the unlimited dark money. That's all the structural stuff. But honestly, think about like when we were in school. When was the last time we actually had like a civics class? Like, what was our civics curriculum like?
It was non-existent.
Well, the last time that you get tested in civics was, I think you get tested in 3rd grade and 8th grade on social studies, and that's it. And it's not even like I'm not even talking about social studies. I'm not asking you to like recite to me,
Right.
the like actual civics. Like, what does it mean to be a citizen in this country?
Mm-hmm.
We have terrible civics education. There was a report that came out a couple of weeks ago. It's like a 38-page report about how do we, reinvigorate civics education in America. And it was like, the point was, it's not just about memorizing, facts and figures in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean. It's not about that. It's about understanding how the system works, and understanding how and why and how to make change and how to do all this stuff. We need civics education, and really the media too is a big part of this. Like, there is less and less local journalism these days because it's not a sustainable model. Social media goes unregulated because these companies have no liability for the garbage that gets published on their platforms. And then you have these cable news shows that have zero incentive to either A, tell the truth, or B, present both sides fairly. So, you got to fix all these things at once to really dig us out of the hole that we're in.
How do we? We're not gonna do that. I don't want to sound like a pessimist, bro.
No, you're right. But like, honestly, if we don't do these things, we're not going to have much of a country left. Like, we are not on a sustainable path.
I'm with you.
I don't know how long it's gonna take, but we are not. We are living in a country right now where there are two alternate and separate realities that people live in. Right? Like, if all you do is read conservative Twitter and you're on Parler and you watch Newsmax, your worldview is totally different. And not just like you see blue and I see purple. It's like you see cats and I see bowling balls.
Right.
Like, totally different than someone who, reads liberal Twitter and watches MSNBC and reads the New York Times. Like, we're not even agreeing on the same basis of facts. That is the death knell of democracy.
Yeah, man. It's kind of been exacerbated too. Like, over the last probably 5 years, I would say it's probably gotten way worse. Especially like news is just churned out now. Like, it's like it's whatever. Like, it's manufactured basically. And like you said, like the news companies, they don't cater to the truth. They just cater to their viewers and what they want. Like they're never gonna pass up more ratings for truth.
Yep.
So I mean, it's tricky, like how this works. I mean, it's fucking scary too, because my cousins are moved to Greece, right? A couple of my cousins from here.
Yeah.
George Argidiou. Mm-hmm. So he moved there, and he was telling me, I'm like, how's it going? He was telling me like there's a big Me Too thing happening now because there's a big fucking theater director that has been accused of like really shitty stuff, like not just Me Too sexual harassment, it's like other level. And it goes all the way up to the prime minister. And the prime minister there is like, they're like right-wing-ish.
Yeah.
That party. And he told me, I'm like, how are they reacting with Corona? Because over here, Corona is, it's politicized. It's one way or the other. I don't believe it's true, and I don't need masks. It's just the flu. And the other side is like, let's do the right thing and not kill people. There, he's like, even like the right wingers are like, we need to mitigate. We need to lock down and do what we can to get back. They're going through the right motions, regardless of party. And that seems to be the case everywhere except for here.
Yeah.
And so, like, when people tell me, or they try to say, like, America is the best country in the world, it's like, dude, it's got the potential to be, sure, but in no way are we the best country in the world right now. I know we have the most aircraft carriers, and that's good, I guess. But, we're not the best country in the world. If we can't agree on trying to mitigate and get rid of a virus that, if you think about it, right, it's only been a year. It's not like we've been living our lives like this for 5 years and we can't find the vaccine, or the vaccine's ineffective, or whatever the case is. Imagine if this took longer, what would be happening? I don't know. Yeah. So what do you make of that? Like, what do you make of that, like, straight up polarization?
Look, I think it's all a symptom of what we were just talking about. Like, it is, we are not going to survive this if we continue on this path. There is just zero way that we can survive this. This is like what happened. Like, if you read history and you see like how this country was before the Civil War, it's pretty bad. Like, there was a there was a senator who got the shit beat out of him on the floor by another congressman with his cane. He was in a coma for like 2 years because they were so polarized.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We are, it sounds quaint when we read our Civil War history books now. It's like, oh my gosh, they fought over slavery. But like, it was the existential crisis of the time. And that lasted for really, it heated up for like the last 10 years before the shots started firing. But like, we're not that far off. We are. And even Biden said it. It's like we are fighting an uncivil war right now.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, especially after January 6th specifically, it's like, yo, this shit can get kinetic real quick.
Yep.
Like, and think about if they actually did call in National Guard troops or whatever, people would have probably gotten shot up. Like, it would have been fucking disastrous.
Yep.
I mean, people did die, but it's fucking crazy. And like, I remember watching a video of like a man on the street kind of guy, like going up to this guy, 65-year-old guy at the Trump rally. And he's like, what do you think about, what's going on with Donald Trump? And the guy starts crying that like Trump's getting fucked over with the election and all that. And he doesn't, like, they don't know any better. Like, they think that it really was stolen from him, and like the deep state's trying to just get rid of Trump because Trump's like this fucking freedom fighter, I guess. I don't know what the fuck they think Trump is. Even though you listen to Trump speak for 10 minutes and you're like, this guy's full of shit. On his best day, he's full of shit. So I don't know, right? Like, it's like this crazy indoctrination, basically, of what's like over the last year, especially with Corona and especially with the election. And I read this thing where, like, now because of social media, it's so much easier for people to get radicalized. Like, it's basically cut the time in half. So you got to assume this last year has probably done a fucking, like, could affect this country for the next generation.
Yeah. I mean, think about how many, like, young people, even younger than us, who all they do is, like, sit at home on their computers and, like, game or, like, watch YouTube videos. The amount of like radical and extremist videos on YouTube is terrifying. And like you start watching one, it is like you start watching one video and the next thing you know, like the next video auto loads and then it's like recommended for you, why Joe Biden is a pizza eating pedophile. And next thing you know, you're talking about like Bill Clinton and the aliens, and it's all like, then you go down the rabbit hole. And that we have not seen the full radicalization yet. Of like the generation that's coming right behind us. That's
scary, bro.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's totally scary.
Like, because you think like, how can it get crazier than this? It's so
it can, and it will. It will unless we take some urgent action.
And like what you said about, definitely getting money and corporate interests out of politics, however possible. I mean, we've literally legalized bribery, bro. And I remember a part in The West Wing, one of the first season when he's like, they're trying to put new people on the FEC.
Yeah.
And he says it, like the deputy chief of staff says it to the vice president, which I'm sure happens, but, in private, where like they're actually honest with each other, where he's like, we've legalized bribery.
Yeah.
In this country. Yeah. And it's not just the federal level, it's every state
everywhere.
Government. Yeah. Like the NRA, like they did an assault weapons ban, and then the NRA, what they do is they go to each state legislator and they chop everything down from the state. Right? Like there's just different ways of doing things. It's crazy. It's kind of scary, bro, because there's such a divide. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, and what scares me the most is that most people have not even accepted the fact that there's a problem.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't, like, especially with election, people are like, oh no, but Joe Biden is the president, but they don't say like, oh, the election was real, like just a normal sentence that.
Yeah.
And like you said,
there was even this whole theory that that people thought that Trump was going to be inaugurated on March 4th, last week. He was going to come back to town and like all of a sudden become inaugurated again.
Right. Yeah.
Like, where does that come from? Like,
I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like, I think the new date they came up with was March 20th. There's a new date now.
Jeez.
Like, what do? You just keep like stop being a doomsday cult and giving a date, right? Like, if you're gonna run a cult and you want to build this, stop giving dates, because when the date comes and it doesn't happen, you look like an idiot.
It's like the Mayan apocalypse, right? It was
2012.
Like all of a sudden, everyone's waiting for the sky to open up and like the sun gods to come and they'll eat us whole or something. Oh, it didn't happen this time. Oh, we meant 2041 or 2060 or whatever.
Yo, it's and the really interesting part now, like you read, and this is anecdotal, right? So it's you see people, whether it's on Facebook and it's people and people like you grew up with, and you're like, these people aren't idiots. Like, them, like they're not totally brain dead. And they write about like anti-mask stuff and anti-vaxxer stuff. And it's so interesting to me. It's like, what makes you get to that point? I understand you want to be a little bit skeptical of the vaccine, maybe. Sure. But they've ran these tests. The RNA vaccine's been around for decades, right? Like they were able to make the actual vaccine like over a weekend, right? Like it wasn't like this new discovery. And the anti-mask thing, it's so crazy to me, bro. Like, what do you like? You have family members. I'm sure you have some family members that are righties. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, especially family members, not like random Greeks that you might know or you've been passing or whatever, who may give a comment. Like, fuck those people, to be honest. But like the people that you know and you see, and how do you deal with that?
You know what? I don't even engage, because I know that it'll break my heart to have to lose that fight or like just have to fight over it.
Sure.
That I just don't even engage on it, which sucks, because like you want to care and you want to like shake some sense into people, but family should like come before everything, right? And this is obviously something, but I don't want to like destroy a relationship because they're not willing to
even like listen, right?
Yeah.
You need to listen to reason. I'm not saying like the COVID relief bill on the federal level.
Yeah.
I think it's a net good thing that it happened and that people are going to get some money and like states will get some money and stuff like that. No Republican voted for it. Instead of like even debating it, like let's say they wanted to debate it and they wanted something rejiggered. They want, this amount of money to this or this and that. Like, they wanted to negotiate it a little bit. Fine. Right. That happens all the time. There's horse trading and shit. But they don't even do that. Like what they're talking about on Fox News and Newsmax is fucking Dr. Seuss and Mr. Potato Head for a week and a half. While like, legislate, spending $1.9 trillion. If you have a Republican congressperson or senator or whatever, like you should be thinking, okay, that's a mad money, right? That's tax money that we're deficit spending. My Republican senator or congressman should be talking about how to at least talking about it. Instead of talking about Dr. Seuss and getting like caught up in bullshit. Because whenever I like debate like Republicans, what they do is this: they just fucking try to change the subject
all the time.
It's insane to me, bro.
You should see there was so they're debating on the floor today in the House a bill on I think it was the PRO Act about unionization, and Tim Ryan from Ohio.
I saw that. Yeah.
It said the exact same thing. Like when we talk about union members, you say you're not interested. When we talk about minimum wage, you say no. When we're talking about like helping people, you say no. But God forbid we're talking about tax cuts. You're the first ones in line. Stop talking about Dr. Seuss and start trying to help people. Like exactly that.
Yeah.
But the problem is so here's the problem is that because of the echo chamber, everyone at home who watches Fox News or Newsmax, that's all they're talking about is Dr. Seuss, right? And so when you try to go to someone and say, "Look, can you believe that your Republican member of Congress was not going to support this unionization thing or whatever?" They're like, "Oh, I never heard about that. I want to know why about Dr. Seuss."
Yeah, I want to know about cancel culture. Like what?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Cancel culture? Like it's such bullshit. Like, what do you call it? Cosmetic bullshit. Like, I'm not saying the First Amendment isn't something that should be protected. Everyone thinks it should be protected, but to go after it with these dumb, like the state of Dr. Seuss took it down. It wasn't like Joe Biden wrote an executive order like ban these 6 books of fucking Dr. Seuss. It's so crazy to me. Wow, $1.9 trillion has just been spent right? Or it's going to be passed or whatever. You know, maybe your elected officials should be worrying about that. And instead, even when they debated in the House, these fucking assholes, they said, oh, we can't make it to the Washington because of the pandemic. They're in CPAC.
Yeah.
You know, like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Do your job at the minimum. At least show up. It's insane to me. It's insane to me how, yeah, obviously you want to check on Democrats and stuff like that. I mean, I'm going to be very cynical right now. And I'm going to say for the vast majority of Democrats, everyone is a corporate party. We have corporate overload.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's call it a spade a spade. You know, when no one's looking, corporations and lobbies, you know, go in there and chop shit up and get what they need. There's always needs to be a check, but, you know, at least be engaged in reality.
Yeah. It's just that there's zero incentive for that. That's the problem. Everyone's looking out for their best interest, and like what's good for them is to stay in power, stay elected. And the way to do that, you follow the incentives and you go where the people are, and the people aren't there yet. They're not there.
No. Yeah. I mean, listen, you want
the money's not there. The money's not there, and the base is not there.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to them, like the super fringe right, whether it's, you know, even whether it's like Christian, hardcore Christians, or like the QAnon crazy, I'm an American patriot people. They're, you know, there might be 20% of the electorate, but they're loud and they raise money and they're organized.
And they vote.
Yeah.
And they vote. Bottom line, they vote.
So what do we, I mean, like, I don't want to end this feeling sad. I'm sad right now.
I mean, I would bring the baby back out to smile.
He's sleeping though, right?
But we put him down. No, you put him down. So I can't do that for you.
At least you got that. Yeah, right. And when you're feeling down and stuff, you got that at least.
Honestly, like, you know, with all the news that broke on Sunday about Cuomo, like I was following it, and then I noticed for the first time that the baby started smiling like spontaneously for more than like a second. I put my phone down for the rest of the day and I just stared at him.
Yeah, that's great.
It was so great. I just melted. Like to be able to see him start to smile on his own and like come, you know, you see his personality coming through. That to me is like gets me through all this craziness.
Yeah, that's huge, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Like that's important. And it's great to like have that to keep in perspective also. At the end of the day, like everything we're talking about matters, but that baby matters more than banning Dr. Seuss or like what someone voted for, this or that. Like
right.
That's the future right there. So, that's kind of how I keep my sanity through all of this right now.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it's still tough. It's still tough.
I mean, that's how to do it, bro. You couldn't ask for something better.
Yeah.
What did you think? I want to know your opinion when you heard Cuomo's writing a book about his leadership during the pandemic. No bullshit. Tell me for real.
Part of me was like, no surprise. Like, it's like the worst kept secret that he wants to be president one day, right? That's what everyone keeps talking about. Write a book. He was America's governor. I'll give him the credit. Oh, wait, the baby is here. Like he is a great communicator. He knows how to be direct, especially compared to Trump. Hi, what do you think here, huh?
What a champ.
He knows, when Trump was like, messing everything up, he was clear, he was confident, he was concise. He was like, here's what's going on. And there's a line. You ever see the movie The American President?
Yeah.
Right? That came before The West Wing. Mm-hmm. Michael J. Fox has a line like, the American people are thirsty for the truth and like they will crawl through the desert and drink the sand. Like we were desperate for a straight talker and a straight shooter who was making decisions that looked right. So like, yeah, of course he's going to write a book about everything he did. And he did, some of the stuff he did is right. But you have to eye roll and say, look, like we're not out of this yet. Like, what's going on here? Right. We still got a lot more to go. Like, what's going on?
Also, like the one thing I want to talk about is when his first accuser came out. He's so cute, dude.
Yeah.
When
Lindsey Boylan?
Yeah. Like there was like a kind of a dedicated smear campaign going on.
Yeah.
And that isn't really talked about that much. There was some article in the New Yorker today. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, you're trying to change the story, character assassinate this accuser. That's what like people who are guilty do.
Yeah.
Vageli, what do you think?
It's a tried and true playbook. It's a tried and true playbook to try to change the story, buy time, attack the accuser. People who abuse their power this way and engage in harassment, it's the same playbook over and over and over again. They do this to show that they have power over you. They do it in a way to show that you have no choice in how to respond. You have to accept it. And then when you start to, then they terrify you about speaking out. And then God forbid you do speak out, then they try to destroy you. And it's gaslighting. And it happens in politics. It happens in media. It happens in business. Like, it's the same playbook over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, because I could see Cuomo's not the type of guy who will back down.
No, he's not.
He's literally caught in the cookie jar.
He is not. He will cling to power as long as he can. There's zero doubt about that.
All right. So what did we learn today?
The future is bleak. The times are bleak. The times are bleak, but the future could be better if we just, get our shit together. But you didn't hear that. Oh, you didn't hear that. Okay,
earmuffs.
Yeah, earmuffs.
So, okay. So you think Andrew Yang's numbers are soft? Eric Adams going to do, catch up?
Yep.
You kind of want Cuomo to resign, but not really. You're thinking about primarying him.
Totally, yeah.
And what else? I think that's it. The Republicans are the worst, but we've known that.
I mean, that's all. Yeah, no news there. No news.
I'll let you guys go. It's bedtime. A little spit
awesome.
up. It's okay. I spit up too.
You spit up a little bit. Yeah. That's okay.
It's not a big deal. I do the same thing, and I'm 35.
I wish, but when we do it, people look at us like, what's wrong with you? When the babies do it, it's like, oh, it's cute. Look at him, he's spitting up.
Yeah, people whisper and stuff when they see us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. We'll put you inside now. Okay.
All right.
Great talking.
You too, bro.
Thanks a lot.
Do you plug anything? What do you do when you're a state senator? You don't plug anything.
No, follow me on social. That's all.
All right, thanks, Andrew.
Stuff anyway. I'm get that SEO up.
Perfect.
All right, man. See you later.
Dude.
Bye.
Bye.